This is my collection of esoteric, high-proof, single-barrel rums. It's not a huge collection, but all of these are pretty good. But today I'm going to focus on these two. These are both from Velier, which is a producer and distributor of rums and other spirits that comes from Italy. They joined their company with another company called La Maison du Whiskey, which is a French distributor and producer, I guess, of various spirits. They have a bunch of different lines of quality spirits, I guess, and the one that we're looking at is called Habitation Velier. They work with rum producers to make what you might call single rums, so rums from single producers, not blended. They sell them at barrel proof, and they don't add coloring or anything like that. So it should be pretty quality, good stuff. The first one we're going to look at is this Privateer. Privateer is from New England. I don't know a ton about them because I haven't been able to locate any other Privateer rums in my state. So this will be my first opportunity to try it. But the other one we're going to try is Hampden. Now, I've talked about Hampden before. They are a Jamaican rum producer, very famous and well respected. This one comes from 2010. It was aged 10 years in Jamaica, I think. Let's double check that. Fermented, distilled, aged at Hampden Estate Distillery. I mean, we were talking about transparency, and they're, telling you what they're doing right on the bottle. And the other thing you'll notice is the little stamp on here that says LROK, and I want to just discuss that for a second. The different Jamaican distilleries have what are called marks, and they're basically telling you sort of what to expect from the rum. Different marks have different ester levels, meaning different amounts of funkiness or amounts of flavor. You can make a very sort of clear, pure, not super funky rum, or you can go all the way up to something like the DOK, which I mentioned before, which is like extremely funky, almost undrinkably funky rum, mostly meant for blends. This LROK, which stands for Light Rum Owen Kelly, I don't know why they have these names, but they do, is sort of a lower down on the funk scale, you might say. Certainly not the lightest, but about midway. So it should be funky, but not too funky, and it should be delicious. Oh, and I should say that each of these marks are specific to each different distillery. So each distillery will have their own system for dividing up their different distillates that they make into different categories, and they each have their own one. And Hampden's one has got these names like Light Rum Owen Kelly or Desmond, whatever the other one was. It's a crazy system that I don't really understand, but the point is we're going to try some rums. So let's pour these up. I'm going to start with this Privateer. We'll take a look at the label, shall we? Privateer 2017 New England single rum. It's from New England. I don't know, like I said, a lot about this distillery, but it has a good reputation, I've heard. Privateer International in Ipswich, Massachusetts. So if you're anywhere near Ipswich, Massachusetts, that's hard to say, you could go check them out and let me know in the comments what you think of Privateer rum. Yeah, it's made in the New England tradition from 100% molasses, aged in new American oak barrels. It's a blend of 3 casks distilled from 2016 and 5 casks distilled from 2017, bottled at full proof. So these are actually not single barrel like I thought, but a blend of different barrels, but from the same distillery. Single rum equals 100% discontinued distillation. I don't know what that means. I was telling you that Velier combined with La Maison made this new company, La Maison Velier, and they basically collaborate with these distilleries. They don't just buy barrels or just take what's on the market and resell it. They sort of work with them to sort of develop the bottle, the barrel that they want to do, and so yeah, it's pretty neat. This is 3 years old, distilled in 2017, bottled in 2020. 2020, what a year. Privateer, 2017. Now, we're not expecting this to be super funky or weird. It's, New England has a long tradition of making rum. Mostly they would get molasses shipped up from the Caribbean in the old days, and there were plenty of distilleries out on the East Coast who would make rye and rum and whatever. But we're not expecting this to be like a super funky thing like you would get from a Jamaican rum. Smells pretty clean, actually. Like a new carpet. That's weird. I don't always feel confident in my tasting notes because I don't necessarily have the words to describe what I'm smelling. Yeah, it's pretty strong. 55.6% alcohol. But you get a lot of caramel. You get a lot of like butterscotch caramel notes. Almost like a young whiskey. It says it was aged in new American oak. I don't know if they charred the barrels or not. It's hard to know. A lot of the time you assume rum is aged in used bourbon barrels because used bourbon barrels are all over the place. Give you another taste here with some water in it. It's like it's like a cookie, like a buttery cookie. That's really good. It is a little hot. I mean, I'm finding myself wanting to put more water in it, but that's fine. Yeah, like a buttery Christmas cookie. A little bit like a, not cinnamon exactly, but nutmeg maybe, like almost like a Christmassy spice to it. I mean, that's pretty good. All right, let's move on. Hold on a second. Let me just see what these texts are about. Bottle 2, we're going to check out this Hampden. I poured a little into glass already. Hampden, 2010. So this was distilled in 2010. Like I said before, LROK, light rum, Owen Kelly. Should be a little funky, but not too funky. Fermented, distilled, aged at Hampden Estate in Trelawney, Jamaica. Is 62%. So that's pretty high. LROK is a Hampden rum, identifying rum with an ester concentration level of 300 to 400 grams per hectoliter of pure alcohol. We discussed this earlier when we were talking about DOK, but they can measure chemically the amount of esters in the batches of rum. 300 to 400 is, not the bottom, obviously, but the legal limit is 1600, so this is, down the scale. Ooh, it says an Angel's share of over 60% and bottle at cask strength. So Angel's share of 60% means when you're just aging your alcohol, a certain amount of it evaporates, and they call that the Angel's share. 60% means after aging it for 10 years, 60% of what you put in the barrels is gone. So that's one of the reasons these bottles are so expensive. And I didn't mention the price of these, but they're pretty expendy. I'm going to try and preserve these for a while, I think. All right, Hampden 2010. It does have that nice mellow funk that I love. It smells like a rotten fruit, or kind of like a ripe banana, coconut kind of smell. Boy. I'm just sniffing. I don't even know what I'm sniffing for. I'm worried about drinking this. It's so high proof. Ooh. It's spicy. You get more of those vanilla caramel notes. Actually kind of similar, which is weird. I'm gonna put a little water in. I feel like I gotta put water in just because the alcohol is gonna overwhelm me. Like a... Well, sometimes with the rum I get a little bit of that Band-Aid smell, like a sort of like a vinyl off-gassing kind of new plastic smell. Get a little bit of that. It's not unpleasant. I don't want to make you think it's bad, but it's good. It's good with a little water. It's a little drying. It's not. It's funny. It tastes sweet, but it actually dries your mouth. It's like a. It's like a. It's again like a cookie. It's like a overbaked cookie that's too dry. Like a caramel candy, but not a sweet one. Boy, I don't know if I'm helping you understand these rums at all, but I'm having fun. I mean, this Hampden, I love Hampden. I have the Hampden Estate 8-year, and it's really, really lovely. And this Hampden is so high proof that I'm having a little trouble, but I love the funk level in that it's funky, but it's balanced with the other sort of caramely, vanilla-y flavors that I'm getting. And yeah, this is really, it's really enjoyable. I mean, I bet this would make an insane old-fashioned. It's so expensive, I'm hesitating to put it in an old-fashioned, but I'll probably try it at some point. I think these are really good. I wish I could find some other privateers to compare that to, but I can't right now anyway. Compared to other Hampdens, this one is super powerful, even though it's at maybe a lower funk level. The high proof of it is just, it's packed full of flavor. Okay, future me coming in. I know this video is getting a little bit long, but there's a couple things I wanted to mention that I forgot to say earlier. The price. The privateer is $85 and the Hampden is $130 where I live. Now these are expensive rums, and so not for your introduction to rum, you know what I'm saying? Like if you are a rum lover and you can afford it, these are definitely worth getting. If you're new to rum and you want to try something good that's more affordable, go for Appleton Estate 12 or El Dorado 12. Maybe one of the plantation rums. Those are pretty good and affordable. But why the price difference, I wanted to also point out. Privateer is several different barrels, and the Hampden, they lost 60% of it to the Angel share, as I was mentioning before. So there is a lot more of the Privateer than there is of the Hampden, and the price reflects that, 85 versus 130. So this is just one of the reasons why certain things are very expensive, is that isn't very much of it, so they charge more money because of the rarity. So I think that's what's going on here. The other thing I was hoping to say is that while these are really good if you're a rum lover, the Privateer actually might be really good even if you're like a whiskey lover. If you're a lover of single barrel high proof whiskeys, that one might actually suit you if you're trying to get into fancy rums. Now I noticed when I was looking up the prices of these, there's also a Habitation Worthy Park bottle available near me now. It costs $100 or something, and I don't think I can afford to get that right now, because when I bought those other two, the Habitation bottles, I also bought this Holmes K Guyana bottle. This is for a future video. If you want to see how this tastes, subscribe, put on the bell, you'll be notified when that comes out, etc. So the other thing I was mentioning was that would I make an old-fashioned with this, and I dithered a little, but you know what? If you start with good ingredients, you're going to get a good drink. And if you start with incredible ingredients, you'll get an incredible drink. So I went ahead and made the old-fashioned. Yeah, baby. Well, that's good. That is wild. I used half Privateer and half Hampden, and yeah, that's pretty amazing. Although, if I was making an old-fashioned with this, I would probably mix it with something a lower proof, because this is going to be sort of a devastating cocktail to drink. I'm going to make me drunk. All right, that's it. No more additions. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all that, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.